Well, I'm sure you guys can tell with what's behind me. I've left the North Woods and the rough grouse behind, and I traveled west. And I'm really excited. And what I'm going to do is go on a pheasant hunt for the next week or 10 days or so. I've never gone on a big pheasant hunt like this before out of state. I've traveled west before and done sharp-tails, huns, prairie grouse, prairie chickens. But I've never done a big pheasant hunt like this in late October into November, and I'm really pumped right now. Just driving around this morning, I saw a lot of birds out on the roads. That got me really excited to see. The reports have been really good for the bird numbers out here this year, so I'm over the moon right now. I'm ready to go hunting, ready to get a dog out and see what we can run into and do some exploring in new country and find some birds. And ever since I got my first bird dog, Yeti, 8 years ago, I've dreamed of doing a pheasant hunt like this. When I first got him, that was my full intentions before I even realized, chasing rough grouse was a lot of fun. It was my full intentions to do a lot of pheasant hunts with that dog, and I haven't been able to get around to it yet. And he's kind of at the point where he's 8 years old now, and at some point here he's going to start slowing down a little bit. So I wanted to get out here, head west, and get on a good pheasant hunt with that dog specifically, and all my dogs, before he gets too much older and he's in the prime of his hunting career right now. So that's the first dog I'm going to run this morning. I'm super pumped up. I'm super jacked, ready to go find some birds, do some exploring over the next couple weeks, and just see what happens, man. There's a lot of good looking ground here. I have done pheasant hunting back home, never done a big pheasant hunt like this out west, but for the most part I do have a general idea of what some pheasant country looks like. I've found a lot of birds out west before when I was hunting prairie grouse, so I have a good idea of kind of what to look for, the right habitat to be in. So I'm going to put that to the test and see if we can find some birds. But anyways, that's enough jabbing. I'm gonna get some dogs out and go do some hunting. Right now it's really overcast skies, a little light breeze, probably 10 miles an hour. It is supposed to get windier later in the day, but after that wind and clouds rolls out of here today, the next, as far as you can see in the extended forecast, is gonna be sunny skies with a little bit of clouds and just some beautiful weather coming up in the 50-degree range, and I'm excited, man. So anyways, I'm gonna get a dog out now, go see if we can find some wild roosters. You ready? Yeti. All right, I'm gonna start out by hunting this field. It runs along the edge of this alfalfa field. See if I can find some birds that were coming back from that alfalfa this morning back to the cover to feed. They're coming back to loaf around in here the rest of the day. There actually was some birds that I could see sitting out in the middle of this field on some of these hay bales, so there's birds around in here. Yeti's been birdie over here. Been working back to this alfalfa field edge with the wind in our face. We've moved a couple hens in here. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a rooster somewhere in here too. He's on a point in front of me. He's slowed down to a real slow stalk. Birds are track stars right now. They're just running and running and running on us. This bird is double backed on us. Unreal. Gosh dang it. Good job, Yeti. All I can do is laugh at that. I shot behind it both freaking times. Unbelievable. I don't even know how far we chased this bird. Started all the way over there, made a big loop out here, and it circled and double backed onto us, and it came into this thick patch, and the dog went on point right there on the edge of this thicker cover. And I was like, man, that bird hopefully hits this thicker cover. And he finally slows down. And I get in here and I start stomping around. And I hear this bird trying to bust up out of this cover. And finally it popped out right here. And I saw its little white ring around its neck. And I got greedy at that point when I saw that white neck. And I was like, oh boy, this is it. I pulled up and I just didn't get in front of the bird. Twice behind it. Man, that was fun though. That's what we came for, except for missing. Yeti locked up on point over here. There he is right there. Dead bird! There goes another rooster. Yeti, dead bird! Yeti, no! Yeti, come on! Dead bird! We got it. Good boy. Good boy. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Nice work. Good job, buddy. That is our first rooster of the trip. It took us a minute to find it. There was a second one that flushed, and he had a picture perfect mark on this bird and where it went down. And when that second bird flushed, it took him off his mark and he went chasing after that bird. And we spent a couple minutes searching and searching and searching the area, and finally he slowed up and stopped and went on point. And I came up to him and he reached down and grabbed the bird. Well, I just got back to the truck and I turn around to call for the dog. And I see him standing on point right here. Man, my shooting has just been terrible today. These birds banking is what's been getting me. They shoot up, and that bird was going to the right, so I started leaning him to the right, but then he switched with the wind and he drifted to the left just as I pulled the trigger. And then he was drifting back to the left, so I got out in front of him to the left and he started to straighten out going with the wind. So it's almost like I need to just let the bird get up and get its line before I take my shot. Because those birds drifting like that, it's been getting me every single time. I've missed several birds this morning because of that. That was a really first fun walk of the trip. Had a little bit of everything mixed in there. Some birds that were running on us like track stars, a couple birds that sat tight, got some good shots at. Ended up coming out with one bird in the bag and missed a handful of other ones. So I switched over to my good dog's crappy shooting hat because that pretty much defined this morning. I think I moved 9 roosters altogether, but nonetheless, gonna go across the road now into the other section from where I hunted this morning. There definitely should be some birds in there. A couple of them flew into that part, and so yeah, gonna get another dog out and go give it a shot, see what else we can come across today. Fox. It just nosedives right into this little cattail slough that runs up between these two fields. Got some cut corn on the backside over here. This ditch runs up along the field edge. There should definitely be some birds hanging around in here somewhere. Give her a little foxy girl a run, see what she can find. Here! Here! Whoa! Yeah, I knew that was happening. Whoa! Dog, it just went on point. There goes another bird up there. Whoa! The dog just went on point right here in this ditch. But there's vehicles coming, and that kind of bugged me out. And I was starting to call the dog back to me because I did not want a bird to get up and go across the road, and she goes and chases it across the road in front of those vehicles. There's some fresh pheasant tracks in the ditch here. The dog got birdie when we came around this little corner right here. We're just gonna work our way down to this ditch now. Here. Dead bird! Dead bird! Fox, dead bird! Good job, Fox! Good job, Fox. Come on. All the way across the ditch. Come on, girl. Fetch here. Come on. Here. Come on. Good job, Fox. Come here. Excellent work, girl. Nice job. Picture perfect point. That was beautiful. Good job, Fox. That was freaking awesome. She pinned that bird perfectly right here on the other side of this fence line. And I swung around a little ways in front of her. And I was like, man, I wonder if this bird is just sitting tight right here in front of her. So I walked straight towards her and that bird got up. I mean, within a foot of me and within a foot of her. That was freaking awesome. And I kind of licked my lips as it got up and I was like, ah, don't miss this. This is a beautiful shot. And of course I freaking whiffed on the first shot, but I caught up to it on the second one and I just dumped it in this opening here. Fox made a beautiful retrieve for me. Man, what a picture perfect, beautiful job that was. Well, that's a wrap on our first day of hunting. I'm back at camp now, getting set up for the evening. Dogs just got done eating their dinner. I'm getting ready to make some dinner of my own. And this is home while I'm out here. This is camp. If you guys have followed along before, you know that on some of these trips, I just camp out of the back of my truck. I got a bed that's built into the back of my cab. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now on this trip. So I'm just getting ready to make some dinner. I'm gonna cook up some of the pheasant that I shot today. Got a couple breasts there marinating. Gonna fry them up. Have a little side to go with them. Overall, really fun day of hunting. Didn't get our 3 birds for our limit, but that's all right. Can't say that I did not have an opportunity to get our 3rd bird for a limit. Gosh, I miss a handful of birds today. Just shooting was subpar at best, but nonetheless, dogs did really good today. I was proud of the dogs. They got out and ran well, pointed their birds, and man, that was a fun walk this morning with Yeti when he was following and trailing some of those birds, and I was just right behind him and he was leading the way for us. My heart was just beating out of my chest there a few times, waiting for a bird to flush in front of us somewhere. But anyways, I'm gonna make some food here, eat some dinner for the night, and we'll be back at it tomorrow morning. So the clouds and wind have cleared out of here. Tomorrow it's supposed to be really sunny, high of about 50 degrees, and then the next few days after that, just sun and clouds, not a whole lot of wind. So we've got a really good stretch of weather coming up here to do some good hunting over the next couple days. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the field tomorrow and catch up with you then. Well, here we go. It's shaping up to what it looks to be a really nice day of hunting. We had some cloud cover that rolled in this morning. Sun's starting to come out now. I'm fired up. Dogs are back there restless in their kennels. I'm ready to go give this a shot this morning, see if we can find some birds. I'm gonna go hunt an area that's got a little bit of everything this morning. There's some cut beans around this piece that I'm gonna hunt. There's a creek that runs through it and twists and winds, and it's got some cattails that border it and some different pockets of some nice looking cover throughout it. Just a really good piece of grassland overall. There's some shrubby cover in the back, some stem texture density. So I'm thinking there's definitely gonna be some birds hiding out and roosting in here overnight and getting ready to go out and try and pick some gravel on the side of the roads this morning or go out and feed in some of these cut beans around this area. Got a pretty good light breeze blowing through, cool temperatures this morning, and overall it's gonna be a beautiful day for hunting. So let's get to it. Time to get a dog out and see if we can go kick some roosters up. Yeti. So this morning, switched over to my semi-auto 12 gauge. I don't know what it is, but I just don't shoot that well with my side-by-side on pheasants. I can shoot it really good on grouse and woodcock in the woods, but you put a pheasant in front of me, and it just feels like almost every single bird I'm shooting behind it. So this morning I'm going to start off with my 12 gauge auto loader. See if I can have some better luck shooting it. Right here, dog just locked up. It landed in the water. Dead bird, Yeti. Come on, Yeti. Get that bird. Hit that bird for us. Dead bird. Get it, buddy. Come on, Yeti. I don't know if he got it or not. He's got it. Good boy, Yeti. Come on. Good boy. Good boy, Yeti. Bring it back, buddy. Come on. Look at that. Got a little water retrieve out of my Brittany here. This isn't the first time he's done this. Come on, buddy. Good job, Yeti. Good boy. Good boy. Come here, Yeti. Come on. Good boy, bring. Good boy, give. Well, it's a wet, soggy bird, and he ain't got no more tail feathers on him, but that was freaking awesome. What a job by the dog. We tracked those birds all the way across this field. There was 2 of them. The second one got up over there somewhere. I knocked that bird down. I didn't kill it. Bird went down on the edge of the water over there. Dog made his way across there, picked up the scent, and grabbed that bird, brought it back to me. Awesome job, buddy. To summarize our first walk of the day, I came out with a soggy bird and a soaking wet dog as well. There's a lot more water in that spot than I thought there was going to be. I thought it was just going to be the creek that had water in it, but there was a lot of phragmites, reeds, and cattails that were mixed throughout there too that had a lot of standing water in it. And then even some of the grass had water that was standing in it too. It must have been an overflow from when that creek flooded at some point. You could tell that that creek had flooded some point throughout the year. Probably recently here sometime. I don't know when they've gotten a big amount of rain here last or what, but anyways, did come out with 1 bird in the bag. We moved another rooster on the back end, but it was on private land. Those birds know where to stay safe at. And props to Yeti for that heck of a retrieve he made, going across that canal and grabbing that bird without even thinking about it, just diving headfirst into the water and going and getting that bird and bringing it back to me. That's why I love hunting with Yeti. He's always down to do whatever it takes to get a bird, and that's the kind of attitude I like in a dog. So now I'm getting ready to go out for our next walk of the day. The sun is out fully now, but there's a little bit of a cold breeze blowing through that's got some bite to it, but the sun shining down on me does feel good and helps out with a little bit of bite from that wind. And I'm gonna go into a smaller spot. This is a big cut cornfield, and in one corner of it, it has a decently sized piece of cover that's got some grass, some cattails mixed in. But I'm gonna first start off by going down this road edge that runs along this cut corn. There's a little bit of cover along the road edge, and there might be a bird that's sitting here somewhere on the road edge, so I'm gonna start off by going into the wind down the road edge and then working into that cover back there. It's not the biggest piece in the world, but I kind of like hunting these smaller pieces. It's a lot easier for me as a solo hunter with one dog to manage. And oftentimes too, I feel like they're overlooked, these smaller pieces. A lot of people are like, well, I can cover that in 20 minutes and be done. I'm gonna go move on and try and find something bigger. So it's just big enough and the right type of cover to be holding a bird or two. So I'm gonna run the dog through here and see if we can kick anything up. Ember. Ember's on point. 55 yards up here. Yep, I see it right there. She's pointing back at me. Ember. Over here. I just picked up the track to something. Dead bird. Yeah, I knew there had to be a rooster running around on us in here somewhere. Dead bird. Good job, Ember. Ember. Ember, dead bird. There was two of them. I got the first one. The dog had just picked up their track again, right over there. She went on point over here. We moved up here. She got birdie right over here again. She knew they weren't there. She thought about pointing. They weren't quite there though. There's my haul. And those birds had double backed and came back this way. And I ran into them. Good job, Ember. Dead bird. Good job, little girl. That's a big bird. Come here. Here. Good job, Ember. Nice work. Nice retrieve. I know these roosters don't always play fair. Dog goes on point. Those birds are moving. Dog gets birdie again. Birds are double backing on the dog. Funny thing is though, those birds got turned around from the dog and they ran right back to me. I flushed them right at my feet. Good looking rooster. Young of the year bird from this spring's hatch. Yeah, that's a good girl. It's a good job. You looked pretty with that big rooster coming back. Ember's on point right here, just behind this little patch of grass. Just right there. Whoa. Ember. Ember. This is cool. Look at this big old buck rub. That's a pretty good sized tree, and it's been used for years. Whoa! There goes roosters while I'm staring at that. The dog went in here. She's on point now. I was thinking about hitting those willows, and I got distracted by that buck rub. The dog had just locked up on point on the side of the road there. I see her. She's in this thicket right here facing me. Ember. No, that bird's in here still. I hear it running in there. The last spot I hunted was a smaller section, and I talked about a couple things and why I liked hunting smaller pieces like that. One, as a solo hunter with one dog for the most part usually, it's a lot easier to manage. It's easy for me to work my way through there through objectives and not leave a whole lot of ground unturned. Also, I feel like those spots are oftentimes overlooked, especially by big groups or parties of hunters. Usually those guys are looking for bigger sections to go in and hunt. And a lot of times in those smaller pieces, whether it's grouse hunting back home or applying that same thought process to pheasant hunting out here, I can go into those smaller pieces and work them really well, and there's usually some birds in them, as long as the cover and the habitat is good. But on this walk, I'm gonna do the complete opposite of what I just talked about. I'm gonna go into a really big section here. This is a big section of CRP. It looks beautiful. It's beautiful looking cover. There's some blue stem and different types of grasses in here. And it's just the right type of height and thickness, I feel like. I don't like hunting areas that are too thick, too tall, because it's just too much of a hassle for me and the dog to get through. I like a little shorter, a little sparser spots. And this is a good mix of both. So it's gonna be easy for me and the dog to get through, easy for me to find the dog when they go on point. And the majority of this field is surrounded by cut corn. And that's one thing I've been trying to key in on, is finding spots that have cut corn around it. I've hunted a couple spots that have standing corn around it, and I haven't found a whole lot in the cover. And my guess is those birds are hanging out in that standing corn. But this spot, the corn is all cut around it, so those birds have to be in the cover here. They're obviously gonna go out to these cut corn fields and feed when the time comes, but for the most part, when they're not feeding, they're gonna be back in the cover here. So I only need one more bird to get my limit. I don't have to cover this whole entire place to find a lot of different birds. I just gotta get lucky enough to find one that we can play with. So I'm gonna get a dog out and see if we can go kick that one last bird for the day up in here. You ready? Okay. I'm just gonna start off by working my way down this line of this cut cornfield. See if there's any birds that are hanging out somewhere between this edge and 75, 80 yards off of it. Because eventually at some point here within the next hour or so, birds are probably gonna wanna start heading out to feed. And then from there, if we don't find anything, I'll just start looping into this farther. Right here in front of me, it's been locked up. 45 yards in front of me. She is right there. Whoa. Dead bird. Good job, Aspen. Dead bird. Good girl. Come here. Nice job. Give. 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 Good job, Aspen. That's a really young bird. Later hatch. I knew it was a young bird when it got up and took flight, but I saw it was a rooster. I saw that little ring around its neck, and it had a little dark coloring, red coloring to it. Awesome. Good job, girl. You just finished out our day with our limit. Come here. Good job, Aspen. That was a nice point right here. Good job, Aspen. Nice work. Got a mouthful of feathers, made a nice retrieve, had a good point. Right on the edge of this picked cornfield. Good job, Aspen. That's the end of our day right there. I just got back to the truck here. After I shot that last bird, the dog did one last loop behind me. She went on point, 100 yards back here. I tried calling her. She didn't want to come to me, and she's standing there still, so I'm gonna go to her, see if she's got a bird pointed. I'll go flush it for her if she does. I won't be able to shoot it. I'll flush it and tell her, good girl. My gun is unloaded, so everybody knows. Definitely got something here. Whoa. There it goes. Good girl. Good dog, Aspen. Good job. Hey, the truck's right there. Within 100 yards of the trucks, there's birds here. Well, that's going to be a wrap for us for today. Hunted 3 different places. All 3 of them were a little bit different, but we got results out of every single one. And I think the takeaway from all the different spots that I've hunted today, and also just kind of my mindset and everything that I'm doing when I'm hunting, whether it's rough grouse back home, pheasants, prairie grouse, you name it. It's just no matter what the spot looks like, whether it's big, small, medium, the type of cover it's in it, is just objectives. And that's the takeaway from this all. You know, my objective, even though this is a big piece, was to go down the edge of this cornfield and work that instead of just wandering through the middle of it, hoping to come across a bird somewhere. I started out going down the edge, and we ended up coming into some hens. Moved probably 6 or 7, maybe 8 hens in there. And then the dog went on point again right on the edge of that cornfield, and I walked up and that young rooster flushed and I made the shot. So that's a really good way to end our day. I'm super pumped and happy we got our 3 birds. All the dogs did awesome for me today. I loved watching the dogs work every second of it today. I mean, that's the whole part of why we do this. Yeti making that beautiful retrieve back across that creek to me. Ember coming back with a big old rooster covering her face, and Aspen just looking real pretty on the side of that cornfield pointing that last bird for me. So couldn't be happier for all the dogs and how they did today, but got some more time out here and some more hunting to do. So until then, I'll catch you guys then.